Even if you don't have more than 2 turntables, it is possible to do a multiple deck mix using the built-in sample players that come with Scratch Live. We'll look at these in more detail later, but if you go to the Setup tab and click on Plugins and then enable Sample Player plugin, and when you go back to the Setup tab, you'll notice a Sample Player tab appears. So if you click on that, the sample players open up. So what I've done here is loaded 3 separate audio parts that are all lifted from the same track, so they're all exactly the same speed. Basically, I've got a drum sample. I've also got a flute stem from the same track. And a piano riff. So on my right deck, I've got a separate track which I've matched the tempo of to the samples. And then on the left deck, I've got a scratching sample which I'm going to scratch over the top of it. So I'm effectively going to have a 5-deck mix here. I'm going to have 3 tunes that are coming from the sample player, which are already beat matched because they're the same speed, and I'm going to beat match the 4th tune into it and then scratch over the top of it. So let's have a listen. Obviously, using the sample players in this way is no substitute for having actual decks to control your music, because you can't actually change the pitch of the tunes that are in the sample players. But like I said, if you search for remix competitions online, you often find the separate stems from tracks, or you could even analyse your tracks and work out which ones are exactly the same speed, so that you know that all you need to do is trigger them over each other, and you won't need to adjust the tempo to keep them in time if they're the ones that you're using in the sample players. We'll look at the sample players in more detail next week, but for now this is something you can try out if you've got separate audio parts from a track, or indeed tracks in their own right that are the same speed, and you can try and trigger them over each other and also add elements that are controlled by the normal decks.